Welcome back to the channel, your home of hopium-free crypto and economic market cycle updates. Let's look at Bitcoin, the rejections, the false signals that we may be seeing in Bitcoin over the next couple of days, and then also update our cryptocurrency markets. There's a lot of short-term and longer-term stuff going on. So make sure, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, help out the algorithm, push this stuff through that damn YouTube algorithm to more people, and I'll be forever grateful. Plus, you can also leave me a comment down below with one of your favorite emojis. I'll get back to you down there. All right, guys, let's crack on with the video. We're looking at Bitcoin. This is the rejection that we have been following, the line here at about $21,500. So this is going to come into play because we need to understand what the market wants to do next. And then that's also going to help out our cryptocurrency trades. So we're going to be following a few things today. There's obviously Bitcoin, the overarching cryptocurrency that tells the market what it wants to do next. I want to look at an update of the S&P, so the traditional markets as well, to give us an insight as to what the bigger money is doing. I know we tend to forget about the S&P, the traditional markets, but we need to know what's going on there to let us know what's going on over here. Of course, the biggest cycle of everything, no matter what anyone says, the biggest cycle is the land cycle. So the economic rent, the land, the 18.6 year cycle. Quick update there. And then let's look at these crypto trades on a shorter term time frame. I know people are loving to get out there into the degen plays and getting up on leverage. So I just hope that you are remaining safe. You are creating your plans and not entering markets until you've got a plan. And if you need more information, obviously go check out the channel. There's plenty of videos under playlists on what I do for exit strategies, where I was entering. I did a lot of this stuff through the bull market because I knew we had to take profits for the bear market. It's just natural. You need to get in, you need to get out. And for crypto, it needs to be quick. For longer markets, bigger markets like the real estate cycle, it's longer term stuff. While I talk about trading, Bybit is having their World Series of Trading on now. So use the link in the description. You can get a much larger sign up bonus using that. $4,450, and you can join us over there in the team Crypto Hobos. I'll leave a link to this stuff in the top of the video description, so you just got to click those, sign up, and use that trading group if you're experienced and you want to get involved in that over the coming weeks, because it's just on for this period. All right, so the fear and greed sitting at 10. We don't need to ramble on about this too much. We know that we've been in extreme fear for quite some time now. If I go back 3 months, we basically broke down into that extreme fear in around early May. So we've been plottering along down these low figures for some time. So extreme fear, we know the market's extremely fearful at the moment. It's been doing nothing. The market has been down. What does the smart investor for the longer term do when these market conditions are down? Well, let's take a look at the Wall Street cheat sheet. Yes, I think we're sort of in this period here. What do? Well, the longer term is going to be buying. They're not concerned if they get the exact low, but they want to have an idea of, is that low a lot further down or a little bit further down? And I went through that in more detail in yesterday's video, which I'll leave a link to at the end of this video. So stick around for this and you can go and check that one out. Put it on 1.5 speed, whatever you do, so you can watch it quicker to get that information in. Wall Street cheat sheet. Capitulation, look, we're probably through the majority of the major capitulations, in my opinion. I know there are other people out there that are thinking 10,000 or 8,000 or $3,000 Bitcoin. I don't tend to think we're going to get that far. If we do, of course, happy to be wrong, and I'll just go and buy some more. But I think we're probably somewhere in that ballpark zone now, like I talked about in yesterday's video, in more detail if you want to understand why. So if we do get any sort of falls into lower prices, then I think we're sort of looking at something like this, where we've had the capitulation and then we dump into that final area where people get even more angry than what a lot of people are at the moment. And we could do another dump again, but it doesn't really matter because I think the price range isn't going to be that far. The only difference is that is going to squeeze a lot of people out of the market is the time. I've said that all along. 2022 is going to be the year to buy. Get the timing reasonably right. Doesn't have to be spot on. But if we're looking at that timing, probably now, mid-year to end of year, pricing is going to be somewhere around this zone. But we're just going to have to wait longer than the person who might buy in 6 months' time. They'll have to wait 6 months less for that next cycle to kick on up. Speaking of our cycles, let's take a look at the macro cycle. Where are we? Well, the 18-year property cycle. This is the overarching macro view of everything in the entire world. Obviously, that's my investment thesis and how I invest, where I put my money, whether it's in real estate, stocks, metals, crypto. My primary two are real estate and crypto, and I leave cash there to then buy up in some of these macro dips. I'm seeing 2022 as the mid-cycle of this macro cycle, so I think it's another good time. The winner's curse phase will come later in this decade, maybe 2024, probably more like 2025, 2026, something like that. And you will see the same emotional feelings from the everyday person who is interested in the stock market and real estate. You'll see that because you've already experienced it in crypto. You've seen what the degens do in crypto when things go nuts. That will happen again in real estate. That's obviously, as I said, my thesis, which is why I'm investing in real estate now, and I'm waiting for crypto to bottom out a little more. Bitcoin, we're sort of in that zone now, and other cryptos I think will take another 6, 12, 18 months, something in that zone for that longer bottom before we start to move with those again. So this is where we are. We're just coming out of the first half. We've seen that correction in 2020, which was the COVID crash, and we're sort of bouncing through this second correction. Now, don't get too hung up about the highs. The highs can be higher. The main thing with this is the movement of the market. That's it. The lows don't have to be the same level. The highs don't have to be the same level. It's the movement of the market. And so this move up is what we're going to experience next. And this high may only come out just above these highs. So it's got nothing to do with the exact area of the value on the side of the chart. It's just looking at the movement of the market. We're going to have another big upswing, and then we'll have a much more significant crash than what we're currently experiencing. But I think this is still a few, maybe several years away before we get to this part here. I'm not blindsided that this will never happen. It will happen, but it's not. The time is not now. That's going to be later on. So let's get back to the charts after we've had a look at all of that macro stuff. Taking a look at Bitcoin and the rejections that we've seen since, let's call it the 17th, so the last 11 days. Now that price is that yellow line here that I've put up, 21,400, one rejection. So we didn't really know that was the price at the time, and you have to wait for the market to show you what that is. Next rejection, 21st. So we started to get an idea that it's not able to get over that 21.4, 21.5 too easily. We come at it again. You can call this a small rejection here. We are on a 4-hour chart. So we're looking at the micro at the moment, the micro term timeframes. There's the rejection. And I called for this low around that 20,700 as an area that I would look to put my stops if I was trading this on a leverage trade, looking to go long in the Bitcoin market, because I'm still expecting us to go a bit higher, which is why I've talked about the bull trap, the fake out to the upside, anything like that, because I think that's possibly what we're trying to set up for here. It is slow going. I don't think it's going to be as big as what we were hoping for in terms of that higher price, but we do still see a few rejections in the market still trying to hold up. So you can see all of these wicks here. Higher price here, rejected. Let's use this little triangle, rejected, even in this little space. And then we got the final rejection here before we came under, tested the rejection and fell underneath this. So I'm just using this range, looking at the 50%. The market is struggling at 50. It's trying to hold it. So we need to close above 20,800 to keep the dream alive of testing that 21.7, 21.8, and then the $23,000 level. And that's why I've got this level here. You can see the tops that came in as the market bounced before it fell into that final low, or that current final low. So now that I've got the micro idea of what's going on for Bitcoin, we've looked at the macro view. Let's leave that aside for now. The micro on Bitcoin is still attempting to come out and give us some more gains to the upside. It hasn't fully broken down yet, and I'd be a little more concerned if we did break 19.5. So that's this low here. I'd be concerned there because it's around the 50%. And now we can move this to the new top, which is just about there. And that'll give us a price at about 19.7. So if the market breaks down under 19.7, then I would probably think that we're not going to go on for that next leg up. Cryptos have taken their profit, and we're just going to wait and see what happens next. And then the final exit area here is about under 19K. I think, all right, things are starting to look a little bit not great for the short term. Looking at the daily, that was the micro. Daily looks obviously quite similar, but the moves are just a little bit cleaner to see. So I'm still hopeful that we can get to 21.7 up to 23. That then opens the door for the altcoins to have their move. What's ETH doing? You know, it's on a similar sort of trajectory here. If we look at ETH, this was our first target at 1. So it's still about 20% away. And this line here was still in play at about 1,050 odd bucks as the support level to hold for those upper long targets for cryptocurrency. So I'm seeing them as kind of like the easier targets here for the short term because there's not too much resistance along the way for things like ETH at this point. Now, total 3 needs to be talked about as well because this is all the cryptocurrency market caps. So I'm just checking off my list here as I go through my trades as to what is the market doing, and is this in favor of my trades or is it not in favor of my trades? Is there still room to go up, or are we going to get rejected here and it's going to be struggle street until we find another trade? So crypto total market cap, total 3, excluding Bitcoin, excluding ETH, we've reached pretty much near number 1 here. So that's at about 400 billion market cap. So yeah, 394 billion is what we reached. That should be quite obvious now if you guys have been following. I'm sure you have. I see your comments down there. You can see the resistance levels that come in as we look at history to the left. All the history is to the left, and this gives us a ability to reasonably forecast to the right because the right is blank. No one can tell the future 100%, but we can get a little bit better of an idea of what may happen next. So these were all of the support levels. There was a support, and guess what? When that market broke the support, you can see that it just moved very quickly down. That's pretty clear. Look at that. Support, came up, tried to get it again, and then quickly down to the next levels. Support, and then broke down. So now we're coming up to test that level against. This is going to be the first level, and there's not too much room to move for these altcoin trades at the moment, but they haven't broken down. That's 1. And 2, the trend is still up. The short-term trend for those trades is still up. So there's no reason just yet to say that this is over and we can't go back and retest this level at the moment. Number 2 is way up here, and I had that on earlier if you guys have been following. I'm looking at around that $580 billion level just to give us that quick bump up and test higher prices. Because this market has been so suppressed for so long, I figure that we will come and test something a bit higher. Of course, we've got to get through here, and maybe it's better to say this is 2, this is 3. But I don't feel like this level, and from what I can see, the objective view here is that this is going to be an extremely strong level. Of course, could be wrong, but it hasn't shown that much in the past because, you know, we've seen that level then. I think if the market can get above that 400 billion, then it shouldn't be too hard to get past that 480. Let's wait and see. The good news on both of those, even if I'm wrong, is that if it gets past this first level at 400, that still leaves us enough room to run in those trades for the altcoins to get up to that higher price of around 28%, and in some of them, which we'll have a look at, probably a little bit further to the 50% level here. Before we get some more significant resistance, there's about 54% up to this level here. So that's what I'm liking the look of. So now that we've got that in the bag, the total cryptocurrency market caps, looking at ETH, there's still a little bit of room to run there. Obviously, this is going to be the key level on all of these charts. That low from the week of the 13th of June, that was that major low. That's going to be the key level to the breakdown of this entire thread, and looking for shorts instead for a more macro daily 4-hourly play. We've still got some more upside there. So Bitcoin's done, ETH's done, total 3's done. We're looking in this short-term environment for these trades. So with that said, onto Solana. Solana, we had the rejection about 42 bucks. And now that we can look back, we can see that 42 was a good area for some resistance. And using our trusty 50% tool, the low here at 25.80 to that peak on that bounce of May at $59, look at where 50% is. Always use the 50% tool, because that'll show you in advance what a price resistance area could be. And you can see that the market now has hit it. We've had a few days down. So this has proven to be a resistance level. Trend is still up. You can see that with our TIA GAN swing indicator. Again, this will have a link in the description as well on how to use it, and you can grab that tool. But the trend is still up, higher highs, higher lows. This is how the tool is used, so you can see the trend as well. So if we break through the 50, then we can run. We have the possibility to run from that 50. I'm going to measure from there up to that next resistance levels of about $59. So getting closer to the 39%. All right, so I'm saying above that 50% because I'm looking for confirmation that the trade is ready to go. We want to see it go above that, close. There's a few more things you need in order of a plan to get above there. Now, if the momentum takes us through and we fall back under, that's a weaker signal, and the stops should be nice and close underneath these lows that you can see on the swing chart. So it basically gives you that idea. It shows you some of the areas that could be significant support levels depending on your time frame, and areas to put those stops in order to protect the capital. That's the beauty about this yellow tool here. It helps. This is a swing indicator. It's what GAN came up with, and it helps so much with identifying areas for stop losses and for profit targets as well. If we factor in, or if we use this tool right here, the trend-based fib extension, just using it from tops to lows, so that can help us as well. That's how all of these pieces come together for a trade. So Solana still has potential move up, has some room to move, provided we get over the 50%. ADA is also in a similar sort of boat, but it's looking a little bit weaker here as it's still grinding within the same range. And you can see on the swings that it's grinding in this range compared to Solana, where it started to move a little bit further. You know, it's just having that room to run, whereas ADA is being pushed back. But we can see it's been pushed back by this downtrend. So if it can break above the downtrend, you know, sort of 54, 55 cents, that'll give us some room to 65 and some more room to about 75 to 77 cents. So in terms of a percentage gain from the current price, these tops are at 36 and there's about 59. So overall, we can expect that the market may find some resistance here. And if we can break through this shorter term resistance, the same deal goes to this total market cap, then there's some room to run up to that next resistance point. And like we pointed out, it's about 20-25% away on the total market cap. So that still is in line with what we're doing with our crypto trades. Then up to that major point, about 55%. So it's all sort of working in together. I'm still liking the look of these, provided they don't break down. And on the S&P, hasn't broken down yet. We're seeing shorter moves to the downside. So that's also a good thing, because we know crypto and the traditional stock markets are intertwined. They're still correlated, unfortunately, for a lot of people who believe they shouldn't be. But, you know, we don't control trillions and trillions of dollars here. We're just following what the market is doing and what the smart money is doing and what the charts are telling us. I can't tell you anything other than what I see on the chart here based on my experience in the charts. So the good news here is we've got a long move to the downside, shorter move up, and then you can see this move to the downside is shorter than the previous one. So it looks like the steam is running out to the downside for now. It's a good thing as well for cryptocurrency. So hopefully you can see that I've tried to tick all the boxes for a trading plan where I'm looking at the macros on Bitcoin, the bigger plays here in the traditional markets, like your ETHs, your S&P, so the traditional market here as well. What's going on out there? Are people looking to go risk on for a time being, hours, days, or are they fully focused on risk off? So really, when I break it down, I'm just trying to answer that one question: risk on, risk off. And then I go through and do all the analysis in Bitcoin, ETH, total market cap, look at S&P, put it all together, trading plan. Let's fire it away and see if we come up stumps with any of the trades on this side. If you are trading, you want a different exchange, definitely check out Bybit. Link is in the top of the video description, up to $4,450 of sign-up bonuses. It's a no KYC exchange, so you can protect your privacy over there. And of course, the World Series of Trading is on as well. So you can see how I'm putting all this together for a trading plan. Thanks very much. Like, subscribe. I'll see you guys back here at the next video. Let me know in the comments what other cryptos you are looking at trading as well, and we'll try and add those into the upcoming videos. Thanks again, guys. See you at the next one. Peace out.